Welcome back, Nerd fans. This is a new type of video that I wanted to do on my personal opinions. I mean, yes, I've done the parks with ranking their roller coasters and all that, but I kind of want to do something a little bit different. This is going to be my top 10, my personal top 10 worst roller coasters I have been on. Keep in mind, as this video is being recorded, I have ridden 149 roller coasters. So, I don't really have too many bad coasters, I would say. So these are all off of my personal opinions on what I like in a coaster, and these coasters could be either just plain out boring, they're meant to be thrill rides, but they're not thrill rides, or they're just terrible and rough, and I do like to separate my coasters out, but I will be putting Sidewinder and Boomerang at World's Fun and Hershey Park together just because they basically have the same ride experience. Just Sidewinder's a bit better, but I'm just going to lump them together because they aren't too different. But anyway, keep in mind this is my personal opinions. If you guys like a coaster on this list, just keep in mind I either A, just didn't get really a good experience on it, or overall it's just not the experience I was expecting from that certain park, as there will be actually one Disney coaster, I'm just going to say this right now, and I'll explain why it's not really one of my favorites, and it's probably one of the worst coasters I've ridden. But anyway, enjoy the rest of this video. Starting off at number 10 is Iron Dragon at Cedar Point. This is an aerodynamic suspended roller coaster, and the reason why it's basically 10 is it's a fun ride. But when it debuted, it was supposed to be a thrill coaster, and it really just doesn't pack the punch compared to the other suspended coaster I've ridden, the Bat at Kings Island, and it just doesn't hold up to those types of standards, and I think a lot of people would agree it is definitely one of the weaker suspended coasters compared to Ninja and Vortex at Six Flags Magic Mountain and Canada's Wonderland. So I'm just going to set this as number 10 just because it's meant to be a thrill coaster, but it really doesn't keep up with the fact that it is a family coaster. And it definitely, like, the overall name and stuff, it definitely gives that idea of, like, oh, this is going to be a really thrilling coaster, when it actually is not. But overall, it's not a bad ride. It's just the fact, for what it's advertised to be, it's not. And what it is, I respect. And it's probably one of the prettiest rides at Cedar Fair, or at Cedar Point. But anyway, Iron Dragon, basically mostly positive thoughts on this. Coming in at number 9 is Flight of Fear at Kings Island. I have not ridden it since its basic revamp and the redo of Area 72, so I'm doing my experiences of it when, of my last rides, which were last year. And honestly, I did not enjoy this ride really at all. I hurt my hip on it, and I had pain basically for like a month after riding Flight of Fear, so it was probably a combination of just how I was riding and overall everything. But I thought it was, the ride experience overall is pretty smooth. It's just the restraints, and just because it caused me some pain, and overall, it's a fun ride, neat experience. Just the fact that it caused me some pain in my hip for at least a month or so, and it was kind of hard to enjoy the rest of the day at Kings Island, since that was like one of the first rides that me and Brian rode. I'm just going to leave this at number 9, just because the overall experience and stuff is good. The ride's pretty fun. It's just that one thing that happened to me personally, and that's the reason why I'm leaving it at number 9. Number 8 is Backlands Coaster, also at Kings Island. I've never really been a big fan of this ride. I mean, it's definitely meant for families and stuff. It's just one of those rides that, honestly, if they took it down, I really could care less. I'm probably in the majority of that, think it's really not that good of a ride, and the theming aspects don't work really at all, and just the overall ride is just pretty dull. Definitely not what it used to be back in the Paramount days, but it's definitely one of those rides at Kings Island where I could easily just pass it and I could care less. I have not ridden this ride since the first time I was at Kings Island, so my opinions could change. But for right now, honestly, I'm really not that big of a fan of Backlot Stunt Coaster, and if they remove it, I really could care less. But yeah, Backlot Stunt Coaster is at number 8. Coming in at number 7 is a very controversial pick and a very bipolar coaster, because I've heard some really good things, some people that have ridden it on a really good day, and I know people that absolutely love this ride, but I'm just not a fan. Mystery Mine at Dollywood. I rode this thing, I tried to enjoy it, but I rode this thing 10 times on my visit, and every single time I got really bad headache, and my headache just kept getting worse. Okay, so that 10 times was over a period of 2 days, but overall, the first section of Mystery Mine definitely needs a change up. It's pretty dang bad with the headbanging, in my personal opinion, but the second part of the ride is fantastic. Don't know how they messed up the first part with the alignment or whatever of why it's so jerky. But honestly, if Dollywood and Gerstlauer could get some really nice restraints, put a lap bar on it and stuff, then Mystery Mine would honestly be one of the best coasters at Dollywood. But till then, it will stay on this list. And it's still probably my least favorite roller coaster at Dollywood currently. But anyway, that's my number 7 roller coaster for the worst. Number 6 is another coaster at Kings Island, and that is in Vertigo. I'm just honestly not a big fan of this ride. The few times that I've ridden it, it's just been super rough, and this is the only roller coaster I've ever almost thrown up on, and that really says a lot. Out of the 149 coasters I've ridden, and I love intense coasters. But I don't know, something about this ride just really doesn't do it for me, and I just don't really care for it. I can do the average boomerang perfectly fine multiple times in a row. I just can't do in Vertigo, and that's the reason why it's on this list. I know a lot of people who love in Vertigo, but just because it's such a rare attraction, the parts are getting scarce, I think that contributes to it being a bit on the rougher side, just because so much is not known about in Vertigo when it comes down to it. And it's been discontinued by Vekoma. And as you can tell, I'm not too big of a fan of Vekoma. But anyway, Vertigo is really not my cup of tea at Kings Island, and I tend to skip this ride quite a bit. But anyway, Vertigo is at number 5 is the start of the really bad roller coasters, and this is what I was talking about with Disney attractions, and this is Primeval Whirl. This is a spinning coaster that does not fit with Disney and Animal Kingdom at all. You can definitely tell this was definitely a budget coaster, budget attraction, and it really does not fit with Animal Kingdom. On top of it having terrible theming, and just really cheesy cutouts and stuff that Disney, nowadays Disney would never do, and actually would put work into it. It's just kind of slapped there, and then just buy one of these. They bought 2 of them to make it kind of a dueling Wild Mouse spinning coaster, which makes no sense. And the last time I rode this, it was really painful and really rough. And I don't really know anyone who can disagree with me on this statement of just saying overall it's just a terrible ride. I've ridden similar rides like Rockstar at Fun Spot Kissimmee, and that ride was 20,000 times better than its predecessor of Primeval Whirl. So, starting at number 5, and this is where we're going to start getting into some really bad coasters, Primeval Whirl hands the stick to number 5.